Welcome to Kings Spotlight, as we are again joined by Kings College head football coach Jeff Knarr. Coach, thanks for being with us again this week.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, it's week 9 and only 2 games are left in the regular season. This week, Kings plays its last home game of the season with a 1 o'clock p.m. matchup against Widener University. But before we talk about that game, let's look back to last week's 24-21 loss to 17th-ranked Delaware Valley. Coach, it was certainly a tough loss to an outstanding team. But looking back at the game, Kings got off to a slow start, but battled back and had a chance to send the game into overtime. But a 39-yard field goal into a stiff wind came up short. While Kings made a good accounting of itself, surely no one in the program is satisfied to have just played a close game. Share your thoughts on that game and your team effort.
Yeah, I thought our kids, we came out and then made some mistakes, and they made some plays, but then they never hit the panic button. They just stayed the course. As we talked about, that Del Val was going to make plays, and we need to make some plays. And our kids understand it's a 60-minute football game, and to keep battling, and then see what happens at the end. And then they battled, and we made plays and did some good things, and kind of ran out of time. I mean, we get the stop we want. It's inside the 1 with 3 minutes to go, and then we put a decent 2-minute drive together and actually have a first down. But there's only 5 seconds left, and came up just shorten the field goal. So what it showed our kids was that they can battle and play with anybody. And then just now we got to work on cleaning some things up and making a few more plays, and then we come out on the positive side of these close battles.
Each week you're always striving to improve as a team. Are there any particular areas you took from Saturday's game as specific areas of improvement?
Yeah, again, the good thing is now it's just 3 games in a row. We've run the ball well, and then each time it's kind of ratcheted up the type of opponent we're playing. Now, this is a nationally ranked team. We've never been able to run the ball well against Del Val, at all. And that was the catalyst, for us to get our offense on track, which opens up things in the pass game, from there. And then we held, them to, over 100 yards below their average that they're used to offensively. And then, again, they're a video game type of an offense, and then to hold them to the 24 points, just saw, again, another step of growth, and with an overall, a young, defense that's very talented.
On the Saturday, Kings goes from playing one ranked team last week in Delaware Valley to another even higher ranked team this week, as 11th ranked Widener travels to Wilkes-Barre. Widener is 8-0 and 7-0 in the MAC, and it's clearly an outstanding team in all aspects of the game.
Yeah, they are. I mean, their front seven, on defense is the best we've seen. 3 of those guys can easily be nominated for Conference Player of the Year and win it from that deal. And then offensively, the thing that's different than what they've been in the past is their balance. I mean, they've been running the ball with great effectiveness and throwing the ball, as well. And so they're 50-50 from there. So they have great balance in their offense, and their defense is just been relentless. I mean, they're a ton of pressure, and then just getting after it. And they're like top 5 in the country, against the run. So they've been, and they're solid in special teams with great effort. So they're a complete football team, and it's playing well. And each week they seem to get better and better, which is indicative of their 8-0 record.
Well, as you said, Widener does have a very, very potent offense. They're averaging 456 yards a game. And they do have that balance with 273 passing yards and 183 rushing yards. But it all starts with the play of sophomore quarterback Seth Klein, who is an athletic player but is also a very accurate quarterback. And he has completed nearly 63% of his passes and thrown 23 touchdowns versus just 2 interceptions. Talk about him.
He's very efficient. I mean, I think last year he was like 70%, low interceptions. He's a good quality, quarterback who doesn't make bad plays worse. He's got great weapons, to go to, and he finds them, or he can run it, and then throw it away. And so he keeps their offense on track and not really, trying to do more than what's asked of them in the scheme and then get themselves into trouble. So, to keep their offense moving, he's done a great job being the leader of that. And knowing when it's time to take shots and knowing when it's not. And then, he's got a wide array of talented people, to spread the ball to.
Well, complimenting Klein is an All-American wide receiver in Anthony Davis, as well as tailback Terrence Morrison. And they also have another bunch of players who really are talented weapons. So how do you defend that varied in offense?
I mean, I guess the good news, is that we played Del Valle last week, and they had the same thing. The Bailey kid's the top guy, but they have a complement of weapons from there. So the blueprint of what we did last week, applies this week as well. Is they're going to get their yards, they're going to move the football. Well, we can't give them the big plays from there, because they're always a play away, either in the run game or the pass game. So our kids have we got to work to try to neutralize and control their top guys, and not give them the cheap one and make them earn what they get offensively.
Earlier, you touched on the Widener defense, and they are the top unit in the MAC and averaging only 239 yards per game against them. They've also held opponents to just 42 rushing yards per game. Why has that defense been so dominant this year?
I mean, their front seven is good. I mean, they're big, they're athletic and strong. I mean, they look the part, and so then they play physical, and they're well coached. You look at them, and then teams are trying to run a read or zone, and then they're always in the right technique, using the right fundamentals, and then they have great speed and fly to the football, and then they're solid tacklers. So there's 7 very good football players from there, and then a very athletic secondary behind them, and with that they can put those guys on islands with some man coverage and zone coverages, and then put them out there because they can get it done athletically, because they're not giving the quarterback and other offenses a lot of time to find out who's open or find the seam to run the ball in, because they're just as a high pressure, well coached defense.
Well, the defense of Widener has been extremely disruptive this year. They're averaging 11 tackles for loss and nearly 4 sacks per game. That's a big number. How big a game is this for your offensive line, and would it be fair to say that how they play will determine the fortunes of your offense on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it always goes, your quarterback goes, but it starts with the 5 guys up front, and they have to continue to work hard, and they've been physical. They were physical last Saturday with a defensive front that was bigger than they were, and the same thing as this Saturday. So kind of the blueprint again is the same, to be physical, to try to be able to find ways to run the football, and then to be fundamentally sound in our technique and our pass pro, and that's sometimes where we've broken down a little bit, because they feel they try to accommodate their speed, they try to do a little bit too much. We just have to kind of stay within the scheme. We've done a pretty good job of handling people's twists and things, and Widener's going to send a bevy of pressures at us. So yeah, it's up to our line to just do their job and then be able to see what they're doing, recognize the front before the snap, and know the possible blitzes that are out of it, and then just wait and react to what they do, and then give great effort from that standpoint. So hopefully they can continue to improve, which helps us run the ball, and then it'll make it easier to throw the ball.
In a game like this where you're facing a team very talented on both sides of the ball, how important will special teams be in both the return game and the kicking punting areas?
I mean, that's always huge. I mean, in any game, especially a game like this, and then we kind of have to be able to match them in the kick game and not give them big plays. I mean, they Davis was an All-American returner before he was an All-American receiver, and they have other talented guys from there. They blocked a ton of kicks this year. So we've been solid in the kick game, and last Saturday we were very solid, and we kind of neutralized Del Valle's punt, and we need to kind of do the same thing here. Eric's done a great job punting the football, and we've done a good job covering it, and our net is getting better and better every game there, and then our kickoff team has gotten better and better, with our net from there. So we can make them have to go a long way, and it gives our defense chances to come up with stops, and then if we can get great returns, and our kick return team has done a phenomenal job putting our offense in good position, and we can shorten the field for our offense, that'll give us more opportunities to score. So the kick game is truly a third of the game, and our kids have done well at that, and they understand that they have to rise to the challenge and bring their A game on Saturday.
Coach, it's our last home game of the season, and that means it's senior day. You have a large class of seniors playing their final home game at McCarthy Stadium. What does this game mean to them, and what will be going through your mind afterwards when they take that final walk from end zone to end zone?
I mean, these seniors, to us is as we build the program, and classes before them, were like the foundation or the bones of the program. And last year's season might have been the heart. But these guys are kind of the soul of the program, because they were our first class that we recruited from A to Z, and then we talked to them about, if you guys stay together, and they have with 18 of them still in the program, that they were going to help implement our plan of how we wanted to practice, train in the off season, handle things in the game, meetings, film, set the culture of how we wanted the program. And those guys, bought into that, and have created, a culture that's puts our team to have success on Saturdays by the way we practice, the way they train, the way they study film and approach the game of football. So these guys have meant a huge asset to our football program, and then their soul of it, because the soul lives on when the body leaves. So even though they're going to be leaving us here, what they've done and the tone they've set and the parameters and how that taught the younger guys how to do things, will live on in this program. So they're invaluable, and then it's kind of hard to believe that they're seniors already. So it'll be excited for them to move on to the next chapter as they're taking that final walk. But then it'll be I'll be feeling a lot of sadness and knowing that we only have one more week with those guys, and they've meant so much to the rebuilding of this program.
Well, Coach, that's all the time we have for this week. Thanks as always for your time, and good luck on Saturday when the King's College Monarchs host Widener University at 1 p.m. at McCarthy Stadium.
Thank you.